Question 17. Write down the first three terms of the sequence whose nth term is given by 2n minus 5. So in this case, we're not looking for the nth term anymore because they've given it to us. We're looking for the first term. So the first term is basically the first number in a sequence. So this is a sequence of numbers, 7, 11, 15, 19. This would be the first term. This would be the second term, the third term, and the fourth term in the sequence. So this question has kind of gone backwards. It's given you the nth term, it's asking you to find the sequence of numbers. So instead of n, I'm going to replace that n with the term that I'm looking for. So it's asked me for the first three, so I'm looking for the first term now. So I'm going to replace that n with 1. So instead of saying m, I'm going to put that in brackets, it'll be 1, and then take away 5. So what's the 2 doing to that n? Well, they're right next to each other, they're touching, with no sign in between. So that means times. So this is saying 2 times 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, take away 5 will take me to minus 3. So if we have a number line here, so we've got 2, we start off here, and when we're going in this direction, we're taking away, and in that direction, we're adding. So I've started at 2, and I've got to take away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That takes me to minus 3. Okay, you could also do that on the calculator, seeing as this is the calculator paper. 2 take away 5 is minus 3. So the first term is going to be minus 3. Once I've done the first term, then I can look at the second term. So again, I don't want the nth term anymore, I want the second term. So I'm going to replace that n with a 2. So it'll be 2, and that 2 is timesing the n. So this is saying 2 times 2, and then take away 5. So 2 times 2 is 4, take away 5. Again, 4 would be here, take away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would take you to minus 1. You could do that on a calculator again. 4, take away 5 would give you minus 1. The third term, again, you don't want the nth term, you want the third term. So replace that n with a 3. So we'd be saying 2. So instead of saying n, it's 3. And that means times. So 2 times 3 would be 6. Take away 5. 6 take away 5 is 1. So our third term would be 1. So that would give you 2 marks. The examiner will give you 1 mark if you've made a little mistake, and if you have at least 2 of these in the correct position. So if you had minus 3 and minus 1 in the correct position, or minus 1 and 1, or 1 and 3, and so on. So if you also had minus 5, minus 3, and minus 1, that would give you 1 mark as well. If you had, it would be 1 mark if you had minus 1, 1, and 3. So slight mistakes made there, but the examiner will give you 1 mark for each of those. Part B. Write an expression for the nth term of the following sequence. So finding the nth term is actually quite simple. So to get the first part, to find the n, you just work out what each number is going up in. So this is going up, it's going up by 4, up by 4, up by 4. So if it's going up by 4, that is your n, 4n. So now we've done that part. The next part is to say, well, how do we get from that 4 to the first number in our sequence? So it's nice and easy to write it directly underneath. How do I get from the 4 to the 7? I'd have to add 3. And that would be the nth term. So So that would give you 2 marks straight away. Or the examiner would give you 1 mark if they see 4n anywhere. If they see 4n anywhere in your workings, they'll give you 1 mark, even if your final answer is not correct.